2017 was good. It wasn't, I don't think it was my best year. I had a lot of, personal friend issues and family issues and stuff like that. But it was a good year. I don't think it was exceptional, and I feel like I could have been a lot more productive. So that's kind of one of my New Year's resolutions for 2018, just to hustle harder, I guess is the way to say it. But it was an okay year. I can't complain. I'm one of those people that tries not to complain about stuff. So I count my blessings. It was a good year. I'm still here. So
not negative, but not positive either?
It was okay.
So-so.
So-so.
What's one thing you're leaving in 2017, heading into 2018?
You know what? I think certain people. I think that's really important. I think people rub off on you. So it's always important to have the right people around you. And I saw a lot of people's true colors in 2017. So I think I'm just going to be more selective about who's around me and who I associate with, probably.
If you could redo one thing over in 2017, what would it be and why?
Redo something over? I don't know if I would say anything in specific, but I would probably make better use of my time, I think. It's really important to know how to manage your time to be the most productive you can be, and I think I definitely could have worked on that.
What's the pettiest thing you've done in 2017?
Pettiest? I try not to be petty. I don't know. That's a hard one. Pettiest thing in 2017. Let me think.
Maybe nothing.
I'm not really a petty person. I'm more one of those type of people that if I'm not happy with something that happens, I just kind of don't engage. I think that's a better approach. I always feel like negative attention is still attention. So I'd rather not engage into situations that aren't good. So.
You kind of told us, I guess, one of your resolutions. Do you make resolutions? Some people don't.
You know what? I try to make changes. I wouldn't say necessarily resolutions. So, when I realize that there's something I need to work on, I kind of try to do that and keep it in mind. I guess the new year is just kind of like, it's just a restart for everybody. So I guess it's changes that I've been knowing I had to make, but I'm more motivated because it's a new year. So
I see. You talked about hustling harder. Anything else aside from that?
I don't know. I guess just my resolution is what most people want, just health, work on my health, money, work on my career. I actually might go to law school this year. So I'm actually getting ready to take that Lsat prep class. So that's kind of a resolution as well, get that going. And I don't know, just try to be the best I can be.
Law school, is there a particular type of attorney?
I currently work in personal injury. I'm a paralegal in a personal injury firm in downtown San Diego. So, I don't know if that's what I would want to do if I did become a lawyer, but it's probably the most profitable. Therefore, it just kind of depends on what kind of space I am once I finish law school. If I'm looking at the money side of it, I would probably stick to personal injury. Plus, I like it, and, I know the ins and outs of it. So it'd probably be easier to go into that right away than to try to learn new type of law. But I don't know. I've always wanted to be an entertainment lawyer. That was initially what I thought of growing up. So maybe that.
Working with like celebrities?
Yeah. That would be fun. But I don't know. I guess most people that went to law school that I know, they say that you usually figure it out as you're going through the school. So, you have to take the classes to see what you like and don't like. So I think that I can't really decide now. I would have to go through the process and figure it out at the end probably.
Somebody watching this having aspirations of becoming some sort of lawyer or attorney, what type of schooling are we talking here? So this test, explain this test.
So the LSAT prep test is basically most people think it's related to law. It's not. So it's kind of like in high school when we took those SATs that had like logic tests and reading and reasoning and stuff like that. It's the same thing, times like 1,000. So it's extremely hard. That's why they have these Lsat prep classes to basically you're taking a class to take a test to even get admitted into the school. So it's kind of a hard process, but it's all like logical reasoning and stuff like that. So it's not anything, it doesn't have a particular subject. So it's not like if you don't know anything about law, you can't take it. So it's just basically, I guess, studying for it and, you know, being prepared for it. I was told that there's a certain type of method when it comes to the logic test on the test. And if you learn the method, then the test should be pretty reasonable for you. So I guess that's what it's all about. I guess just preparing yourself for it.
Then once you pass the test and you go to school, how much schooling is it?
It depends. So once you pass the test, well, there's no pass. It's just a score. So it depends how high your score is whether you would be admitted to, say you wanted to go to a particular school. Some schools require a certain test score. So once you get into the school that you want to go to, I think it depends on the school, but in downtown, the law school in downtown, it could be 2 to 3 years. So if you wanted to do the really fast-paced one, it's 2 years.
2 years you can be an attorney.
Yeah, but you have to have a bachelor's and all that too.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
So
you have to have 4 years of college.
Correct.
Then you take this test. Then
Yes.
there's
2 years, but 2 years is not really, I'm sure it's possible to do. I don't know anybody that's done it in 2 years because of how much hard work it is and time consuming and people have lives. So it's not like if you're one of those people that doesn't have to work and, you know, this is it, you don't have a family or anything, then maybe it's possible. But everyone I know, at least from my firm, they all did it in 3 years. So that's probably more reasonable. Yeah.
So about 7 years of schooling altogether.
Pretty much.
4 and 2 to 3.
Correct. Depending how fast you can go.
Now, aside from this, any other things we can look forward from you for 2018 that you're willing to share with us?
Well, since I said I want to focus on my career, I do like social media, obviously, and I want to grow in that way. So I still want to do my modeling, even though if I do go to law school, it's going to have to change a little bit, of course. I do want to open some type of online boutique. That's what I really want to do. I haven't really narrowed it down to what type of products yet. So I think right now I'm working on building my following so I can have the platform to open the store. I don't really want to, you know, put in all the money into opening it and not be successful. So I think it's important to have the following first and then do something like that. But I would really want to have my own products in some way.
Is that a conflict of interest, this modeling stuff that you do and the law stuff that you do that you're into?
You know, I don't know. I kind of debate with that sometimes.
I don't want to say conflict of interest. Maybe I should say conflict.
Conflict. It hasn't been for me so far. Obviously, I'm not an attorney. I'm a paralegal, so the liability is different, obviously. But, you know, I try to keep them both really separate. So I don't think I would do anything on social media that would break the law or do anything that it would really jeopardize what I do during the week. So I do know that if I did become a lawyer, I would have to, you know, change stuff up a little bit. But, you know, so far, it's been so good. So I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I hope not. I hope it could be one of those situations that you can do both. And if you can't, then I guess I would have to decide in the future what I want to stick to. But so far, it hasn't been a problem. I know a lot of girls. I work with an agency in LA, a modeling agency, and one of the girls is actually a doctor.
Oh,
and
wow.
She's a doctor. She's doing her residency right now, and she's like, I'm not going to say her name, but she's pretty big on Instagram, and she does that whole avenue too. So, you know, I think it just has to do with keeping it separate. If you're one of those people that can, you know, wear both hats, then why not?
Do people at work, where you work, know you do this modeling stuff? Do they see how big your social media is and that sort of thing?
No. some do and some don't. So my secretary knows, and one of the associate attorneys in my office know, but the owner of the firm does not know. Not that I know of, at least. I know. I'm really comfortable with them. I've been with my firm for over 2 years. So I feel like one day I'll bring it up. It just, that day hasn't came yet. So I think eventually, I think if I do decide to go to law school, because they're being very supportive about it and really encouraging me to do it, I think that would probably be the time to bring it up, just in case, you know, it might be a conflict in some way, but not yet. I haven't brought it up yet.
You do put that on your social media, like your Instagram bio, for example. It does say paralegal on there.
Yeah.
Why do you choose to do that? Why not keep it separate, like off the grid, and just let people think you're just into this modeling stuff? Why incorporate that into the mix there?
Because I think that you can focus on your looks and still, you know, I don't know. I guess you can focus on your looks and still do everything else. A lot of people think that if you look a certain way, this is all you do. Or if you're an Instagram model, you just take pictures all day. So I think I'm proud of the fact that I have a career and that I went to school and that I do all these things. So I guess that's why, I mean, I feel like maybe someday I'll have to keep it completely separate and just, you know, stick to one and stick to the other separately. But I don't know, I'm proud of it. I guess that's why I put it on there.
Kind of surprised you never moved in LA, since you're so close to LA from San Diego. Kind of curious why you just stick to San Diego and still reside there with this modeling stuff.
Right. I've always liked LA. I don't know if I can handle the traffic, and, you know, it's so much busier than San Diego on a regular basis. So that's one reason, but I think the main reason is the fact that I've always had a job. I've always had a full-time job. Even when I was going to college, I had a full-time job. I actually, before I got into law, I used to work as a restaurant manager. So I guess had too many ties to just get up and move. And I never really made the decision like to drop everything and just get up and leave. So, I mean, I guess that's still a possibility if I don't go to school. But yeah, that's basically the reason. I love LA. There's a lot more opportunities, I feel like, in modeling in LA. That's why I decided to work with an agency in LA. But yeah, it's hard going back and forth. It's close, but not that close when you're driving. So, but yeah, I mean, it's still a possibility. It just hasn't happened for me, I guess.
So is this stuff like, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, you're a full-time paralegal.
Yeah.
But you're not really a full-time model.
Right.
So the modeling, I guess, is just, I don't want to say an experiment, but kind of like you're just throwing it out there, and if it catches type of thing. Is that how it is?
I don't know if I would say that. You know, growing up, like since I was a kid, I only wanted to be two things. It was either a lawyer or a model. And it was just kind of like, this is my way of trying to do both and somehow, you know, if that makes sense. And I think I like them both. So I've never been able to decide in between them. You know, I like what I do in the weekends for my modeling, and I like my weekdays. So I kind of like the balance as well, you know. So I guess I like them both. I wouldn't really say I like one over the other. I just can't pick at this point. So that's kind of why I do both, even though I work full-time, of course, because I have bills and I have to. So if I had, I guess, more flexibility, I would do 50-50, but, you know,
so
gotta make money.
So at this point, what is it? Is it like 75% paralegal, 25% model, or?
No, I would probably say...
It's not 50-50. So
it's not 50-50. I would say maybe 70-30.
Okay.
70-30 is, you know, good, because of course I do full-time, so that's 40 hours a week for my work. My work at the law firm doesn't go home with me, so that's not something I have to worry after hours. So that's when I focus on everything else. So, evenings, weekends, I kind of do everything else. So it's 70-30 probably.
Do you think if you moved to LA, for example, you'd probably be on a faster pace with this modeling stuff?
Yes, of course, I think so. I think if I gave up law or working in personal injury, I would move a lot faster. Because, of course, if you're only focused on one thing, you're going to progress faster. And, yeah, LA has a lot more resources. Sometimes they say it's all about who you know, and everyone's in LA. They're not in San Diego. So, yeah, I think so. But I like San Diego, so I don't know. Maybe one day.
Because I'm sure somebody watching this is just curious why aren't you in LA? The body you have, the pictures you take, they'd probably figure you were already in LA.
Yeah, everyone thinks that. I don't always say I'm from San Diego on social media. And when people meet me or, message me or anything like that or contact me, they never think I'm from San Diego. They're always like, oh, you're in San Diego? And I'm like, yeah. I guess I don't have the San Diego look, but that's where I grew up. My family's there. My place is there. My job is there. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of one of those things I would have to leave everything behind and just get up and move. So that's why I haven't done it. But, yeah, I think my modeling would have taken off a lot faster if I was in LA for sure.
With your body, is that ever a distraction in the law firm, the paralegal stuff that you deal with? Is that?
Well, yes and no. Not really, because in a law firm, you're not ever going to see me dressed like this. The attire is completely different. I feel like I try really hard to play down my curves, I try my best. I always usually have a sweater. I never show any skin. So it's not like I would ever dress how you would see me on the weekends or how you would see me in my pictures. So that's not what I look like. You probably not ever even recognize me when I'm at work because I look so different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I don't dress up. I'm not going to go with full-on makeup. I'm not going to do hair extensions or anything like that. It's more natural. So, yeah, it hasn't been a problem for me so far. I think I'm very cautious of what I wear just because of that, because I know that can be an issue. So it hasn't been so far, but I think it's something that you have to be proactive about. So as long as you watch what you wear and, just pay attention on how you look, it's not a problem.
What about like sexual harassment and stuff like that? We've been seeing a lot of reports in the news about stuff like that, just with not only the movie industry, but other industries as well. Have you felt that in the workplace? Have you experienced that in the workplace?
It's crazy how much stuff is going on now with sexual harassment. I think that has been going on forever and people just never said it. And I think that type of harassment goes on day to day, walking down the street or being out, not just at work. So just people are speaking out on it. Yeah, I can't think of a crazy scenario in which it has happened to me, like nothing traumatic or anything like that. But yeah, I've had people I work for hit on me. I've had people at my job while I'm working hit on me, stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it's how far people take it. So if you're getting to a point where people are touching you and stuff like that, then of course that's not okay. But I think to a certain extent, men will hit on women, women will hit on men. That's just human nature at some point, yeah.
But it hasn't been anything traumatic?
No, I think I've been fortunate enough to not have anything crazy really happen to me, so.
But you have had to deal with it.
Yeah, I think every girl does. I think to some extent, there's more extreme situations, of course, the ones we're hearing about. But I'm sure every girl has had situations when they felt uncomfortable or they didn't like the attention from or who it was coming from. But yeah, maybe now that people are speaking out on it, people will be more cautious about what they say and what they do. So it'll get better. I think people just didn't talk about it. So to some extent, like maybe people thought the attention was wanted. And But yeah, like I said, I think I've been fortunate. I've never had any traumatic experiences or anything like that. But yeah.
Somebody watching this, let's say it's another female out there, very curvy with her body, and she has to maybe possibly deal with sexual harassment and stuff in the workplace. Any advice to somebody watching that, watching this interview right now that...
You know what? I just think you should never be in a situation in which you're uncomfortable. Whether that's at work, whether that's at an event, whether that's just out, it doesn't matter. If you don't feel comfortable, then say something about it, do something about it, leave, whatever it is you have to do to get out of it. I don't think that you should ever be uncomfortable, even if it's a job. There's no reason why you should have to feel uncomfortable. So I just think personally, if you shouldn't be ashamed of it. If you're uncomfortable, leave. Or if you're uncomfortable, say something about it. I'm a very forward person. If I don't like what you're telling me, if I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to tell you. So I think that people should just not be afraid to speak up.